The smell of lavender used to be my favorite. It made me think of Sarah, her skin, her shampoo, the soft, clean scent she wore like a quiet embrace. It felt like comfort, like home, a warm thread woven through the small fabric of our life. Now even the faintest trace twists my stomach into knots. It's a sharp, bitter reminder of everything I lost and everything she tore apart. I've never been one for melodrama, but when your life becomes a tragedy, a little theater feels almost justified. Sarah and I shared 7 years of marriage. 7 years of mornings shaped by the same coffee routine, laughter that bounced through our little house, and dreams whispered across the kitchen table in the dark. We weren't perfect. We fought about bills, about whose turn it was to wash dishes, about petty inconveniences. Still, we always found our way back. I believed our foundation was steady. I believed in us. Then everything shifted. She grew distant, restless. The warmth that had been there for years thinned into a quiet tension. She started coming home late, blaming extra meetings. Her explanations sounded rehearsed, her tone balanced carefully between casual and convincing. My gut knotted with a nameless dread I couldn't shrug off. The first real crack showed up on an ordinary evening when I noticed a strange message on her phone. Innocent looking at first, a simple "see you later" with a name I didn't know. But it carried a weight, a hidden intimacy that felt like a blade to my chest. I confronted her, hands shaking, phone held out. She denied it outright, called me paranoid, said I was imagining things. Still, her eyes betrayed her. That tiny flicker of guilt, the subtle twitch at the corner of her mouth, the micro-expressions I had learned to read over years together. From that moment I watched. I noticed the small shifts. The extra care in how she dressed, a new perfume she wore, the way her body jumped at the buzz of her phone. I became a ghost in my own life, cataloging the quiet unraveling of everything I once took for granted. Nights were the worst. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I lay beside her and felt a widening chasm, tracing her face in the dark and wondering who she saw when she looked at me, if she saw me at all. The truth arrived in painful fragments. Her meetings were with a man named Marcus, a local gym regular. The photos I dug up online showed his smug grin, the exaggerated muscles, an air of a man used to getting what he wanted. That casual "see you later" text was only the start. The messages I uncovered were raw, crude, intimate proof of betrayal, words and images that exposed the contempt she showed toward our marriage. The anger that rose in me wasn't loud. It wasn't cinematic. It was cold and methodical, a quiet fury simmering under the surface. I didn't shout. I didn't beg. Plan. Every movement grew calculated. Every word became a mask. I continued our daily routines. Morning coffee, forced smiles, conversations that felt like rehearsed lines. Even the intimacy felt automatic, my touch clinical while my mind recorded each gesture, each fleeting look, every tiny nuance for later. I steadied myself, built a private footing. I opened a separate bank account, rerouted funds, made sure my name stayed on important assets while quietly limiting her claim. I met with a lawyer and learned the legal landscape. Every angle, every loophole. It was a slow, deliberate build-up, like a fuse quietly burning toward ignition. The chance arrived on our anniversary. What should have been a celebration of years together became the setting for revelation. Sarah wore a new red dress that clung and shimmered in a way that made it seem meant for Marcus, not for me. I booked a table at the restaurant where we'd had our first date, a setting that mixed romance with false comfort. Across the table she hesitated, and for the first time I saw the nervousness in her eyes, as if she finally felt the weight of what she'd done. I smiled, a thin, cold line that didn't reach my eyes. "I have a surprise for you, Sarah," I said softly, deliberately. I produced an envelope with her name written on the front. She reached for it with curiosity, hands trembling with excitement. Inside there were no flowers, no trinket, no getaway plan. There were documents. Divorce papers filed that very morning. Her face drained of color, lips trembling. "Baby, what is this?" she whispered. "It's a divorce, Sarah," I replied, my voice cutting like ice. "I know about Marcus. I know everything. She tried to deny it, to spin the rehearsed lies she'd been using for weeks. I didn't give her room. I laid out the evidence, every message, every date, every photograph, and explained the careful steps I'd taken. How I'd moved money, secured assets, and removed her claim. You thought you were clever, I said, voice low and controlled. Sneaking around, taking what you wanted. But you forgot one thing, I was paying attention. I watched as arrogance melted into raw terror. She had gambled years of marriage for fleeting pleasures. Suddenly she was left with nothing. The drive home was silent. I didn't speak. I didn't look at her. Inside I started packing, stripping the house of the things that tied me to our life. I moved into a modest apartment nearby, close enough for her to glimpse me from time to time, a living reminder of what she'd lost. I sold the house, kept the proceeds, and left her with nothing. Months passed. I rebuilt carefully. Exercise, friends, rediscovered passions. They all became part of my recovery. She floundered. Her attempts to reconnect with Marcus failed. Her living situation became unstable. Eventually, a mutual friend told me she was searching for me. Desperate, begging for a meeting. I agreed, not because I wanted to rekindle anything, but for closure, to look at her and confirm the justice I'd exacted. She arrived at the coffee shop exhausted, hollowed out, her once radiant energy reduced to a shadow. She fell to her knees, tears streaming, pleading for forgiveness and confessing her mistakes. I watched, measured, calm, detached. "It's too late, Sarah," I said finally, my voice steady and almost neutral. "Some mistakes can't be undone. You made your choices. Now you live with the consequences." I rose, turned, and walked away, leaving her kneeling in the middle of the cafe, a sobbing testament to her own betrayal. There was no pity, no lingering remorse. Only a cold, quiet satisfaction. Now and then the scent of lavender drifts past, a faint echo of a life that used to be. But it no longer wounds me. It's a small, silent reminder that some betrayals are unforgivable, and that the most complete revenge isn't fury or vengeance but living well while leaving the other person with nothing.